Hello fellow scholars, welcome back to the Ripe Good Scholar YouTube channel. My name is Sarah. Today we're going to start getting into the text of A Midsummer Night's Dream. So with that, let's just jump right into Act 1, Scene 1. Theseus, the Duke of Athens, is preparing for his wedding to Hippolyta, Queen of the Amazons, who he wooed in the way all women wish to be wooed, through warfare. Now, fair Hippolyta, our nuptial hour draws on apace. 4 happy days bring in another moon, but oh, methinks how slow this old moon wanes. He is thrilled to have won such a woman and commands the entire kingdom to celebrate. Hippolyta, I wooed thee with my sword and won thy love, doing thee injuries. Truly one of the best love stories of our time. This is when Aegeus drags in his daughter Hermia. Full of vexation come I with complaint against my child, my daughter Hermia. You see, she has it in her head that she can marry the man she loves, Lysander, and not the man her father chose for her, Demetrius. Silly girl. Theseus is inclined to side with Aegeus, but Hermia's point of view is that Lysander is just as good of a man as Demetrius. Plus, she loves him. What say you, Hermia? Be advised, fair maid, to your father should be as a god, one that composed your beauties, yea, and one to whom you are but as a form in wax by him imprinted, and within his power to leave the figure or disfigure it. Demetrius is a worthy gentleman. So is Lysander. In himself he is, but in this kind, wanting your father's voice, the other must be held the worthier. I would my father looked but with my eyes. Aegeus demands that Theseus impose the law on his daughter. Demetrius or death. Theseus isn't quite that harsh and offers a third option. Become a nun. So I will grow, so live, so die, my lord, ere I will yield my virgin patent up unto his lordship, whose unwished yoke my soul consents not give sovereignty. Since none of these sound particularly appealing to Hermia, wonder why. Theseus gives her a fortnight to think about it. Demetrius tells Lysander to give it up, but of course he won't. This is the woman he loves. Lysander teases Demetrius for having Aegeus's love and suggests that he marry him instead. You have her father's love, Demetrius. Let me have Hermia's. Do you marry him? If you love him so much, why don't you just marry him? Aegeus doesn't find this amusing and demands that his daughter marry Demetrius. Lysander pleads that he is just as good as Demetrius. Not to mention, Demetrius loved Helena until about a minute ago. Demetrius, I'll avouch it to his head, made love to Nadar's daughter Helena and won her soul. And she, sweet lady, devoutly dotes in idolatry upon this spotted and inconstant man. Theseus confirms that he heard about Demetrius and Helena too, but it's apparently not that big of an issue in terms of the marriage, so he calls Aegeus and Demetrius away just to end the argument, really. Once they're alone, Lysander comforts Hermia by explaining that all lovers go through tough times. You know, almost all good couples are torn apart by their parents at some point. He then lists how much worse it could be. A great tactic for making people feel better. Then he lays out a plan for the lovers. He has an elderly aunt with no children who will help them get married outside of Athens. They just have to run away the next night. This is when Helena comes in, looking sad, as Helena often does. Hermia tries to comfort her, but she's just not having it. She wonders why she can't be as pretty as Hermia, so that Demetrius will love her. She asks Hermia to reveal her secrets. Hermia explains that she's done nothing but frown at Demetrius, and still he loves her. Helena explains that the more she loves Demetrius, the more he hates her. I frown upon him, yet he loves me still. Oh, that your frowns would teach my smiles such skill. I give him curses, and yet he gives me love. Oh, that my prayer could such affection move. The more I hate, the more he follows me. The more I love, the more he hateth me. His folly, Helena, is no fault of mine. None but your beauty, would that fault were mine. Helena needs self-confidence. Hermia, in a final attempt to comfort her friend, explains that she's about to leave Athens forever, so yay for Helena, she gets Demetrius. Woo! They share their entire plan with Helena. After Hermia and Lysander leave, Helena decides to reveal the plan to Demetrius in some convoluted attempt to win back his love. Like you do. So that was scene 1. There was a lot to unpack there, but it sets up the whole rest of the story, the dynamic between the lovers, what's at stake, all that jazz. But scene 2 is much shorter. A troupe of actors prepare to perform before the Duke at his wedding. They decide to perform Pyramus and Thisbe, the riveting story of 2 fatal loves. Because on your wedding day, you want to hear about the great loves that died tragically. Peter Quince, the troupe leader, reads out the parts. Bottom will play the male lead, Pyramus, and young Flute will play the lady, Thisbe. Flute's not really thrilled about this prospect, so Bottom offers to play both parts. Nay, faith, let me not play a woman, I have a beard coming. That's all one, you shall play it in a mask, and you may speak as small as you will. And I may hide my face. Let me play Thisbe too, I'll speak in a monstrous little voice. Shockingly, Quince refuses this offer. Quince continues casting the rest of the parts. Finally, he gets to the lion. Bottom offers to play this role as well. However, the answer's still no. Quince worries that Bottom will scare the women too much. Let me play the lion too. I will roar, that I will do any man's heart good to hear me. I will roar, that I will make the Duke say, let me hear him roar again, let him roar again. And you should do it too terribly. You would fright the Duchess and the ladies, that they would shriek, and that were enough to hang us all. Which, fair. The players keep offering helpful tips, until Quince tells them to just learn the roles they were assigned. But masters, here are your parts, and I am to entreat you, request you, and desire you to con them by tomorrow night. And that wraps up Act 1. In 2 weeks, we'll move on to Act 2, where we meet the fairies and start dealing with some fun magical mix-ups. If you want to make sure you don't miss that episode, please hit the subscribe button. Let me know what you think of A Midsummer Night's Dream in the comments down below, or any questions you might have. If you want more Shakespeare fun, check out my blog at ripegoodscholar.com, link down below. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, ripegoodscholar, you know the drill. Also make sure you check out my podcast, Breaking Bard. See you next time, and remember, go wisely and go slowly. Those who rush, stumble and fall.